Good day everyone, and welcome back to another installment of Biddy and Miley's story. So thankfully it has been a peaceful couple of days for Biddy and Miley, and no intrusions of any predators or anything like that, and all has been going to plan. You can see Biddy here waking up at around 6 and deciding to go out and stretch her wings for a little bit. But it's not long, only 5 minutes later, and she's back in. And this is pretty much the scene that I have been looking at the last 2 days. She never leaves the nest for too long at the minute. She's right in the middle of incubation. And with only 3 or 4 days left until these eggs hatch into chicks, it's at a very crucial time. She can't let up at the moment. So while there isn't a lot visually going on with Biddy and Miley, I thought I'd let you in on just a few facts that I've dug up about blue tits nesting. One such interesting fact that I found out recently, that these little birds don't actually have enough calcium in their body to produce the eggs when they are being produced. And they actually have to outsource this calcium, and to do this by eating snail shells and such, as they actually need more calcium than is even in their own skeleton. Another interesting fact that I've actually touched on before is the fact that they won't start incubating their eggs until all their eggs are laid, and this is to ensure that they all hatch out at the same time, which in turn will give them all the same fighting chance. As Biddy has tried her best to time her eggs hatching to correlate with the boom of the caterpillars that hatch out during spring. And she is actually still doing that, so depending on the weather will decide on her behaviour. So for example, if it's really hot weather, she will spend a lot of time in the eggs trying to get them to hatch as quickly as possible, to try to make sure the eggs are hatched when the caterpillars are out. But on the other side of things, if it was bad weather, she will be trying to incubating them a little slower, trying to delay the hatch in hopes of trying to again correlate it with the hatch of the caterpillars. And I found that particularly amazing, as they must be just so driven by their instincts, and it's just a wonder how they know to do all this, because I'm sure they don't consciously know they're doing it, they're just driven by instinct. So yeah, it really boggles the mind. And some of you were asking just what are we to expect on some of the survival rates of the chicks, or even the fledging success? And this is a hard one to predict. I have had 1 year where all the chicks unfortunately died, and it was a completely failed year. And I remember looking up at that year that it was a particularly bad year across the country. So the success rates and the failure rates do fluctuate from year to year. But for the most part, they generally get quite a lot of chicks fledging. Sometimes not them all. Some chicks do die. There's usually a runt in the clutch of chicks. And this is one of the reasons why they have such big clutches, to fight against the high mortality rate of their young. So Biddy and Miley have a huge task ahead of them, as each chick will eat roughly around 1,000 caterpillars in its first 2 weeks. So if we do the math on that, if Biddy and Miley have 8 chicks, they're going to have to collect 8,000 caterpillars in those first 2 weeks, and that is no small feat for such small birds. And this comes back to why it's so crucial that the timing is right. So we will have to hope and wish Biddy and Miley the best of luck in raising their family. I, for one, am very much looking forward to seeing the whole process play out. It's always one of my favourite time of years to follow their stories. And I have the added bonus this year of getting to share the story with all of you. And I just want to let you all know that I'm very grateful for tuning in and following the story with me. And that was pretty much all the action that had to be reported over the last 2 days. As you can see, there wasn't too much going on. So I hope with some of the tidbits that I had shared with you that you'd learn something maybe you didn't know. But as always, guys, thank you for joining me. And if you are enjoying it, please leave a comment, subscribe, and until next time, me and Biddy and Miley will see you again. Alrighty, bye bye.